Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wake the hell up, turn the volume way up, because we've got tonight's episode of the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Copo, joined by my guy, Max Faulkner. Maxie, what's going on tonight, man?
Cold breezy. Here we are on a Tuesday night. Once again, everybody, we're starting to do 2 days a week. We got to do a little recap from this past weekend. Pretty decent games. I had some fun watching some of the games. I hope you all did as well. Some baseball games as well that we're going to talk about. Cold breezy. It's starting to heat up. But one thing I got to ask is, where in the hell are you?
Oh, well, you've been in this room before. Let's not forget. You've been in here. But I'm at my parents' house in Mishawaka, Indiana. I'm in my old bedroom where I grew up in. So got a couple things here. But yeah, came home to surprise my dad for his 70th birthday. Happy birthday, Dad! Had a great time. I'm gonna have more great times here this upcoming week. Gonna do the Stanford game at Notre Dame this Saturday with him. So really looking forward to that and just having a great time here, man.
Oh, that's great. Well, happy birthday to your dad. I met your. What's his name? McQueefy? What do you call him? Big old lurch? He's definitely a big lurch. He's definitely a big lurch, too.
I didn't get his size. I didn't get his size or my brother's size. Both my brothers are bigger than me, yep.
Well, your dad's a good guy, very funny. It was always fun talking with him. But I have a feeling that room smells like a sweaty gym sock, Cold Breezy. That's what I'm picturing. Your old high school sweaty gym socks that your mom's been looking for years. What
crusty.
Stinks in here? What stinks
Crusty.
in here? Yeah, definitely crusty.
I'm looking at a stain here next to me. I'm thinking it looks like grape Kool-Aid, but I'm not 100% sure. But definitely didn't get that out of the carpet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm sure Betty wasn't pleased about that. When you spilled grape Kool-Aid, you probably put something over it, didn't you, Cold Breezy? You put a blanket or a
pair of dirty boxers.
Yeah.
Nobody would touch that.
No.
Oh yeah, Max, you just said, we're getting into October here. We're into the baseball playoffs. We're leading off with that today, but definitely stay for some fantasy football talk. We got some things to review from week 5 because fantasy football is really heating up here, Max.
Oh yeah. We're already week 5 in, man. In our fantasy football league, everybody. I mean, handful. I didn't check the records today, but a handful of teams are 3-2 or 2-3. It's either 3-2 or 2-3. Yeah. We have a couple queefs on the bottom, but even those guys are starting to heat up a little bit. Zach, I know he heated up. He beat you this week, Cold Breezy. I know you're upset about it. I know you're upset.
He got me, definitely.
Yeah. So what a league we're in, where everyone just is competing, and that's the best kind of league. Everybody, you don't have a queef that just doesn't set his lineup. Every single person in our league sets their lineup, and we really appreciate everyone, and it makes it more competitive.
Everybody's competitive every season. There's not a person that's always at the bottom. Well, Taylor Wilson, he's getting to be that guy though. He hasn't made the playoffs in a half decade or so. So he's becoming that guy. He's becoming that guy quickly, but definitely competitive league. Really, you have to have activity in your league. You can't have people falling asleep once they lose a couple games. That's why you get a punishment. That's why you have money involved. That's why you have trophies involved. So definitely upgrade your leagues if you're wanting more activity. But Max, like we said, we got to start with some October baseball, the playoffs, fellas, because we're into the divisional series now. Let's start in the American League. The Royals swept Baltimore in Baltimore last week. My goodness, that was a surprise. They are now tied 1-1 with the Yankees in the ALDS. We see Salvador Perez hit a big home run in Game 2 last night. That was out of here, no doubter. Max, anything for the Royals Baltimore series or this Royals Yankees series for me?
Big shocker because I picked Baltimore. I thought Baltimore had the edge on them, but hey, the Royals are red hot as well. Dude, Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez. He's was the MVP in the World Series back in 2015. He's arguably the best catcher in the game, or hitting catcher, I should say. And I'm not saying defensive catcher, hitting catcher for sure. And his leadership on that team with a bunch of these young bucks, it's really, really exciting to see. I love that this series is tied 1-1, Cold Breezy. What do you got?
Yeah, I didn't think the Royals would be making the playoffs this year, and definitely you had them in there, so props to you on that. But them taking down Baltimore in Baltimore was a shocker. But I think the Yankees are going to be too much for him. You still on the Yankees in this one?
Still got the Yankees on this. I love what they did last night against Rodon, but I still got the Yankees. Aaron Judge, man, he has to wake up. Okay,
Oof,
he has not done anything. I see
cold,
him. I see him striking out after striking out.
cold.
When it comes to October, Aaron Judge is struggling. All he needs is one big hit. Okay, he hits one out of the park. That's it. It's going to turn his entire playoff situation around. Okay, so you know, just stay patient, Yankees fans, before you start booing them like A-Rod.
Stay in the American League. AJ Hinch took his Detroit Tigers back into Houston and swept the Astros 2-0 blow. Now they're playing the Guardians. That baby's tied 1-1. Game two last night, we see Kerry Carpenter get up in the top of the ninth. 3-run home run. Kerry Carpenter's first career postseason homer to get game two. That series now 1-1. Tarek Skubal was on the mound for the
Mm-hmm.
AL. Anything on these Tigers, Astros, Guardians for me, Max?
What a game! It went all the way into the ninth, and Carpenter hit a bomb off of Class A, Class A, his ERA was like
Woo,
0.47 this season. It was
woo.
unhittable. I think they had him in for 2 innings, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe he was losing a little bit of juice there. But man, the Tigers, like you said, a couple reasons, they're red hot. Guardians, they better wake up, man. They better wake up because Tyreek Skubal is by far, he might be the best pitcher in this entire series, this entire playoffs. Honestly, he's going to win Cy Young Award. He will win it this year for
Yep.
the AL.
Yep.
But can they get him back into the rotation on Game 5? Okay, is he going to be starting if they get to Game 5? Because they're going to need him. They're going to need him if
Yeah.
that is what happens. So we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see.
They needed him to pitch one more game. That's almost like a free square and bingo to
Yeah.
having Tarek Skubal up on the mound. Let's not forget he led the American League with 18 wins,
Yep.
with a 2.39 ERA and 228 strikeouts. A pitching triple crown. Okay, this guy's definitely the Cy Young, Max. I'm with you for that. And Tigers, yeah, they're the hottest team in baseball since mid-August, and they can keep that rolling. They can keep that rolling. This is going to be a good series.
Yes. No doubt about it, Cole Breezy.
Let's move on to the National League here, Max. We saw the New York Mets defeat Milwaukee 2-1 in Milwaukee. That was the only one that went 3 games, if I'm not mistaken. Now they see the Phillies in the next round, tied up 1-1 right now. Game three going on as we speak, Max. We saw the polar bear Pete Alonso smack one out in game three. Aaron Nola had 8 strikeouts in the first 5 innings. I got that baby on pause right now. Going to finish that game after we get out of here. But Mets over Brewers, and then Mets versus Phillies. Anything for me, Max?
Oh my goodness. All these teams are red hot. The Mets look unreal. How cool is it? Francisco Lindor is stepping up to the plate and you hear the fans yelling MVP,
Yeah.
MVP. You got to love that, man, because
Hmm.
I mean, I brought it up last week. Francisco Lindor is having an MVP season. Okay. He's not going to win MVP, but he had a unbelievable year. And the way the Mets have been playing, I would not be surprised if they take down the Phillies, but I find it hard to believe because the Phillies, man, they got that great pitching staff, man. They got a good bullpen.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe it's the bats they're going to wake up because from the score that I'm seeing, I won't say anything, Cole Breezy, because I'm not going to ruin it for you. But the score that I'm
Okay.
seeing, you got to wake up. How about that?
Yeah, got to get the bats woken up. Definitely love Aaron Nola. Definitely wish I could keep him. Staying in the National League, the Padres swept the Braves at home last week, and now they're playing their rival, the Dodgers. It's tied up 1-1. Boy, we saw things get chippy, Max. We saw things get chippy. Jerkson Profar, he's chirping with the fans out there in left field. Fans are throwing balls out at him. We
Yeah.
see in right field Fernando Tatis. He's egging on the fans, and they're throwing shit at him. They're throwing beer cans at him. That's ridiculous. The stakes are high, emotions are running high. Let's not forget this is the Padres, only their eighth postseason appearance in franchise history, and they've met the Dodgers now in each of their last 3 trips. Each of their last 3 trips, they've met the Dodgers. 2020, the Dodgers swept them in the NLDS. 2022, the Padres got them back in the NLDS 3-1. So this is kind of like a rubber match here, Max. Give me your thoughts on the Padres sweeping the Braves and then this Padres Dodgers series.
The Padres just freaking railed the Dodgers the other night, 10-2. Okay, this is a
Woo!
juicy series. Okay, it's going to be closer than we think. I'm hoping Game 5. You always want to see it. Real quick about the Dodgers fans, dude. These are the worst fans in baseball, and this is the reason I'm going to say this. Obviously people are going to say, "Oh, the Yankees. They're always hating." It's like, no, the Yankees are diehard fans that bash on their own players if they suck. Okay. The Dodgers, on the other hand, they're all so drunk in the outfield that they
Oof.
are always getting in fist fights. And apparently now they want to get in fights with players on the field. Go Breezy, I told you this before. I'll say it again here on this podcast. I went to 8 games back when I was in LA. All
Good
Cubs
amount.
games. Always wanted to see the Cubs take on the Dodgers, at least one a year. I saw 8 games. Every single game I saw, there was a fight in the outfield, and that is not an
Oh,
over exaggeration. There was
come
always a
on.
fight in the bleachers. They always have to pause the game so they can go clear that up. These fans are ridiculous. They are out of their minds. Okay, they're just nuts. Okay, the fact you're gonna go fight somebody, you're gonna go fight somebody in public, you're
Over
gonna
a
get
game.
arrested.
Over a
Gosh,
game. Over a game with a
so
ball. Over a
so
game with a
stupid. And the
ball.
Dodgers are always winning. So what are you mad about? What were you disgusting? And it's usually Dodgers on Dodgers. It's not like it's a it's not like the opponent. Maybe sometimes probably, but for the most part, I was always seeing Dodger jerseys fighting each other. Oh my gosh.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
LA is just toxic,
Ridiculous.
man. It is a toxin. Ugh, gross.
Dodgers Padres game 3 tonight in San Diego. Looking forward to that one.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Let's get into our fantasy football talk, Max.
Yes.
Let's just review here the last 5 weeks because we're going into week 6 now. Let's look at the top 5 players at quarterback, running back, receiver, and tight end in ESPN standard full PPR leagues. It's kind of a fun exercise to see who's up here,
Okay.
at the quarterback position. The number 5 quarterback after 5 weeks is Josh Allen.
Oh.
Number 4 is Joe Burrow. He leads the
Ooh.
NFL in passing touchdowns right now after
Five
5.
five big ones this past
Woo.
weekend. Yeah.
Woo. Number 3 is Blazer Mayfield. Not Baker anymore. It's Blazer.
Where did that come? Where did that come from?
Blazer. I like it. I like it. Number 2, my guy, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Number 1, that guy Jaden Daniels he probably models his game after Lamar Jackson. So top 5 quarterbacks right now: Lamar, Jaden Daniels, Blazer Mayfield, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. Give me your thoughts on that top 5.
The biggest surprise was definitely Jaden Daniels as a rookie, and then come on, Baker Mayfield. Are we serious? Are we serious? We said, and you know what? Cobrizi looks like we were sleeping again because in the off season we were talking about that there's a stat where there's at least what was the stat, Cobrizi, where there's the top 10 quarterbacks. There's only
Yeah.
4 of them that remain in the
Yeah,
top 10.
3
It
or
was
4.
3 or
Yeah.
4, and we said Baker ain't gonna be in there.
No doubt about
Well,
it.
well, top 3 right now, so he's got us.
Oh,
He got
yeah.
us. He's got weapons, man. You know, you got Mike Evans, you got Chris Godwin. Heck, I mean, yeah. And then 2 running backs that catch the ball in the backfield. So Baker looked good. Looks good. Jaden Daniels obviously looks great. I'm not surprised about MVP Lamar. I'm not surprised about Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's Joe Burrow. And then number 5 with Josh Allen. I'm surprised he went to 5. I'm surprised he got pushed back, but he'll be back up there.
Yeah, Joe Burrow leading the NFL in passing touchdowns. Baker was definitely that guy that we took out of last year's top 10 for sure. Josh Allen last game, 9 for 30. 9 for 30 passing,
Whoa.
Josh Allen. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So he's lucky to be still in that top 5.
Mm.
Moving to the running back position after 5 weeks, full PPR standard leagues on ESPN, the top 5 running backs. Number 5 is James Cook. Number 4, Kyron Williams, tied for the NFL lead with 6 rushing touchdowns. Number 3 is Saquon Barkley.
He off bye week. That's why he got
Off
pushed
a
back.
off a bye week. So the fact that he's still number 3, oh my goodness.
Yeah, having a year.
Number 2, my favorite player, Derek King Henry. He leads the NFL with 572 rushing yards and is tied for the NFL lead with 6 rushing touchdowns with Kyron.
Beast.
And the number 1 running back in total points in full PPR leagues after 5 weeks is Alvin Kamara. He leads all running backs with 23 receptions and 214 receiving yards. Top five is Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Kyron Williams, and James Cook. Max, what's your thoughts?
I'm not shocked by any of these guys. Honestly, I am not shocked. Maybe Alvin Kamara being number one right now. Yeah, I would think so. I think Saquon's got it after this weekend again, no doubt about it. But there's some other guys creeping up as well. I mean, the running back position isn't too bad this year. It depends on who you have for sure. But there's the fact that Derrick Henry, it just never seen this guy. I don't even know if this guy's ever going to retire, man. He'll be 50 years old and he'll still be able to bulldoze people over. It's freaking ridiculous. Ridiculous. So I love seeing these guys be successful, and it's been fun to watch. I mean, all these guys are really fun to watch.
People are definitely counting out Derrick Henry this year, talking about his age, talking about the miles on the body, the changing system. But yeah, he's proven the doubters wrong. Leading the NFL in rushing yards, tied for the NFL lead with 6 rushing touchdowns. Definitely like him. And yeah, Kamara's getting a lot of dump downs, but Derek Carr, he might be out. He might be out a couple of weeks. So we'll see what happens with the Saints there. Going to the wide receiver position. Number 5 after 5 weeks, full PPR leagues on ESPN is Jaden Reed. One of your guys, Max. Jaden Reed's still up there with 2 big weeks. Number 4, coming off a week where he didn't even play with a concussion. So the fact that he's still number 4, my goodness, is Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
Leads the NFL still with 35 receptions. My goodness. Get a lot of volume there. Number 3 is Justin Jefferson. Number 2 is Nico Collins, who leads the NFL with 567 receiving yards, but we saw him go all out on that deep ball. Hurt his hamstring. We don't know what's going to happen there. We don't know what's going to happen there.
Hope he's all right.
A 67, 70-yard touchdown. We don't know. And the number 1 receiver coming off another big game, parlayed with his quarterback, was Jamar Chase.
Oh,
he's tied for the NFL lead with 5 receiving touchdowns. The top 5 of the wide receiver position is Jamar Chase, Nico Collins, Justin Jefferson, Malik Neighbors, and Jaden Reed. I'd say the biggest surprise, Max.
Yeah,
agree
definitely.
or disagree?
Jaden Reed is definitely the biggest surprise. I know that in the offseason, I said Jaden Reed will be the number 1 option for Jordan Love. I loved what he did last year. I think he's incredibly talented. And sure enough, dude, the deep ball situation with Jaden Reed is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just literally bombing it. And if Jaden Reed's there, dude, his catching ability is unreal. And they also use Jaden Reed in the rushing game. Can you believe that? It reminds me of Deebo Samuel a little bit.
Yeah,
okay, hopefully without the injury situation. But Jaden Reed, everybody, woo, automatic flex start. He'll be in my flex for a long time. Maybe slips into that wide receiver too. Maybe.
The fact that Malik Neighbors leads the NFL with 35 receptions after missing a game is crazy. Nico Collins leading the league in receiving yards. Kelly should have kept him. That was a tough choice there. She should have kept him. But yeah, that's a good top 5. Moving to the tight end position, top 5 after 5 weeks. Number 5 guy on your team, Max. One of what, 4 tight ends on your team, maybe 3 or 4, 5 or 6. Isaiah Likely after 2 tutties last week. Number 4 coming off a bye week. Still number 4, Dallas Goostert of the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 3, another tight end on your team. My goodness, you're talking about this tight end problem, but you got 2 top 5 guys.
You can't start Isaiah Likely. You freaking know it. He is a bust waiting to happen every week. He got lucky. He had 3 catches last week, 2 of them touchdowns. My gosh, it's just like you better hope.
Number 3 tight end, Tucker Kraft for the Packers. That's crazy. Number 2, a lot of volume last week, was George Kittle. Even after missing a game, he's still number 2. And the number 1 tight end, a rookie, one of my guys, Brock Bowers.
Nice.
He leads the tight end position with 28 receptions and leads the tight end position with 313 receiving yards. So he's getting, now that Devontae Adams is having a hamstring, having a I don't know what you want to call it, issue with the team, whatever's going on there. Brock Bowers is getting all the looks. And yeah, Tucker Kraft and Isaiah Likely, 2 guys that we didn't talk much about in the preseason match.
No. Tucker Kraft is a huge surprise. I'm so happy I picked him up because I was betting on David Njoku last week. I was like, okay, I think he's gonna play. I think I'm gonna start him. Then he has all these limited practices. I'm like, no way. And then I'm looking at Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. I'm like, no freaking way am I starting either of these queeps. And then sure enough, I pick up Tucker Kraft and he has a freaking field day. 20 25 fantasy points, 2 touchdowns, 88 receiving yards. Woo! What a pickup. What a pickup. I'm really excited about that one.
Definitely a guy mentioned in this segment last week, on the waiver wire scoop segment last
Yep,
week, and
yep.
I even think it was one of your extra juicy dogs, if I'm not mistaken. Was
Tucker
he your extra
Kraft?
juice? Was he last week?
No, no, no. I didn't have
Okay,
it.
okay.
No, no, no.
Just a waiver wire scoop for us last
Yeah,
week. So
I
definitely,
listened. I listened to you, Cole Breezy. You brought
thank
it
you.
up. I was looking at his stats. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get him. I'm gonna go get him. Started him, and I won this week. I think he's a huge reason because of it.
That was a good scoop, Max. For the first time all week, we have no Hades three-headed dogs. First time
Ah,
that a player didn't get a hat trick 3 times in the end zone. That's something that it's been a long streak like that. That week 5 was actually the first time, Max.
yeah.
But you know what, damn it, I am a little bit north of you right now, and I went down to Central Park, downtown Mishawaka today, and it was full of fucking geese. Geese shit everywhere, okay? And it just so happens that I'm the only guy with a goose in our fucking league last week. This is when a player or a defense gives you 0 or negative points, and I keep the league streak alive. I don't know how many weeks now it goes into last year, but the Ravens defense special teams, they goosed me. They gave me a big fat juicy sweaty goose right on the face. Playing the Bengals, that was a shootout game. Max, the Ravens are now the 21st ranked defense and special teams. They got Washington next week, at Tampa Bay, at Cleveland. I'm going to ride with them. I'm going to stick with them. What are you doing if you have the Ravens defense?
Don't worry about that. The Bengals had a miraculous offensive game. I mean, come on, it's Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase finally hooked up, right? Jamar Chase had 193 receiving yards or something like that. Something ridiculous. Something ridiculous. So, no, you got Ravens defense. You're sticking with them. You're sticking with them.
Let's move into the last segment tonight on the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast, the waiver wire scoops of the week. It's Tuesday night. You got to go hit your waiver wires, put in those claims. We're going to give you a couple names to look at. Let's start at the running back position, Max. 5 injuries to the running back position where we got to go look at who else is there. Travis Etienne for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's start there. He's got a banged up shoulder. Took a good pop, coach said. Took a good pop. We see Tank Bigsby come in last week. He was running back 1 in fantasy.
Wow.
101 yards and 2 touchdowns on 7.8 yards per carry. 7.8 yards per carry, that's juice. He's
Mm-hmm.
only owned in 9.7% of leagues. He's one of the top ads this week. Moving on, Jonathan Taylor. He sprained that fucking bum ankle that he's got last week. And damn it, he missed last game. He sprained it 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
ago, missed last game. Silly of me. Silly of me to not go make Trey Sermon a priority, the backup last week. What happens? Taylor Wilson, he slips in there, he gets him. But Trey Sermon, he was running back 6 on the week last week, 38 yards and a touchdown on the ground, 6 catches for 25 yards to the air.
Well, 6 catches. That's
Trey,
good.
Trey Sermon, yeah, he needs to be added. Devin Singletary of the Giants, he was a late scratch on Sunday with a growing injury. Your guy, Tyrone Tracy Jr. from
Go
your alma
Boilers.
mater,
Go
eight,
Boilers.
18 carries for a buck 29,
Nice.
18.3% owned.
Very good.
Tyrone Tracy Jr. needs to be added. Aaron Jones went down. He only played about 16 snaps, went down in the first quarter. He is now week to week with a hip injury. He's going to be 30 years old in December. We talked about this
We
coming into the
definitely
year.
brought it up. He's gonna have. He's gonna have his games. He's gonna have a couple big ones, and then something's gonna happen where he doesn't play. And sure enough, hips as a running back. That is not good.
Nope. Ty Chandler is the backup. He is owned in 34.8% of ESPN leagues. Go get him. Last injury, Devon Achane. This guy's always getting hurt, Max. This guy's
Yep.
always getting hurt. This time it's concussion. He took a freaking pop. Go check if Raheem Mostert's available. He came back last week. Go check. He had 19 carries for 80 yards.
Wow.
But more available, definitely more available, is the rookie out of Tennessee, Jalen Wright. 13 carries for 86 yards. A little bit more juice there.
Yeah.
Max, rank these 5 backups for me. Tank Bigsby, Trey Sermon, Tyrone Tracy Jr., Ty Chandler, and Jalen Wright.
I'll go Tank Bigsby as the number one option. I'm sorry, Cole Breezy, because We're talking Jonathan Taylor and Travis Etienne, your keepers, both your keepers, as we both had in our top 10, by the way, top 10 in preseason. That is, woo, that hurts. That really hurts. It's nothing you can do. But yeah, you better go try to get Tank Bigsby this week. You already know it. Trey Sermon's gone, so I'm not. But number two, I actually might go right because the Dolphins,
Miami.
that's all they have is running. That's all they have because the quarterback situation when Tua is not there, they can't throw it. It's such a bummer to see. They just can't figure out how to throw the ball. They're gonna have to run it. Go get right. I got him number two. Number three, well, we got Tyrone Tracy, Trey Sermon, and
And
who's
Ty Chandler from the Vikings.
probably Ty Chandler. Ty Chandler at number three. I would go. I am going to go Tracy, and then last one Sermon from the last one would be Sermon.
I think I'm pretty damn close to you there, Max. I'm going Tank Bigsby at the top just because. I mean, he's got 34 carries on the year, 8 yards per carry on the year. That's juice
Crazy.
compared to 4.4 on 53 carries for ETN. I'm not saying that he's going to take over for ETN because even Coach Peterson came out and said that ETN is our guy. He's the RB1. He's come out and said that. But damn it, Bigsby is really working in there, and he showed that he's got it. So I'm going to put him at the top of my priority board. And yeah, I do like Jalen Wright. I think he's got speed down there in Miami. Miami, we're not too sure about, but Jalen Wright, if Devon Achane is going to be hurt, then yeah, Jalen Wright can slide right in there.
Yep.
Then I'm going to go Tyrone Tracy. I'm going to go Tyrone Tracy Jr. just because 18 for a buck 29. The only reason we're not talking more about him is because he didn't score. It's because he didn't score. But
Mm.
that's great for your first time as a starter. And then I'm gonna go Ty Chandler fourth and Trey Sermon last. Is that the same order as you had?
Yes.
Oh my God. I mean, same damn order. I hope Jonathan Taylor comes back. I think Aaron Jones is more of a risk than Jonathan Taylor is, so that's why I've tied Chandler over Trey Sermon, and Tyrone Tracy looked solid in his only
Yeah.
chance.
Yeah.
Let's break down four wide receivers quickly, Max. I'm going to keep up bringing up Alan Lazard every week because he scored again. 4 touchdowns on the year. That's twice as many as Garrett Wilson has. He's wide receiver 21, only owned in 38% of leagues. Then we got Malik Neighbors. He leads the NFL in receptions. We talked about this. Concussion. We're not sure if he's playing this week. Darius Slayton came out, filled in, wide receiver 7 last week.
Oh wow.
He had 8 catches for a buck 22 and a touchdown. He's only owned in 4.2% of leagues. Might need to look at Darius Slayton and also his teammate Wandale Robinson. You seen this guy, Max? Wide receiver 19 on the year, along with Malik Neighbors there.
Nice.
Wandale Robinson, he's tied for third in the NFL in targets. Danny Jones, he's feeding Neighbors. He's feeding Robinson, and when Neighbors isn't there, he's giving it to Slayton. Wandale Robinson is available in our league, actually. Last receiver, Jalen Tolbert. We saw him caught the game-winning touchdown on Sunday night. Wide receiver 29 on the season. Brandon Cooks goes to IR with a knee injury.
Ah.
Opens up the door for Tolbert. 7 catches for 87 yards and a touchdown last week. He plays Detroit. Detroit, you can beat them through the air. Order those receivers for me, Max. Alan Lazard, Darius Slayton, Wandale Robinson, Jalen Tolbert.
Oh man. That's a tough one, actually. I'm leaning towards Jalen Tolbert maybe as the number one option, and the reason being is I don't know what's going on with CD and again Dak, but they're mouthing off to each other. There's something
Gun
going
bumping.
on there.
Gun bumping.
CD or sorry, not CD Lamb. Dak Prescott. Again, he's a fantasy quarterback, but he had 2 interceptions and a fumble. I think CD is just pissed at that. I'm going to be honest. He's like, what what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Anyway, they gotta figure that out. But Tolbert, he had a great game. Wandale Robinson, I don't know much about him other than the fact that you just told me he's ranked 19th. That's crazy. They're chucking it. They are chucking it in New York. Was not expecting that with what's his name, Saquon gone. Yeah,
Right.
I guess you have to. I guess you got to start
Yeah.
throwing the ball, right? You just paid this guy 100.
Always losing. Always
They're al-
losing.
Might as well. Might as well. So yeah, maybe Wandale, Alan Lazard. There's something about him that just makes me. I don't know, because he gets like 3 catches but a touchdown. Yeah, I mean the
Right.
touchdown. He's only touchdown relevant. Okay, you got to hope for that. So I'll go Alan Lazard, and then lastly I'll go the other guy from
Darius
Slayton.
Yeah. I'm pretty close there, Max. I'm going to go Wandale at the top, though. Wandale Robinson tied for third in the NFL in targets, wide receiver 19 in fantasy. That's impressive. That's impressive. I was surprised to see that. Then I'll go Tolbert second because he is getting all those looks. CD Lamb's getting all the defensive attention. Double teams the best corner. Tolbert might be open. I don't know. Jake Ferguson's the number two option, but Tolbert, Tutty last week could be another Tutty coming this week. I will go Lazard third though. Twice as many touchdowns this year as Garrett Wilson. When you get in the red zone, Rodgers is looking for his guy from Green Bay. And then yeah, Slayton filling in for Neighbors. Great week. 8 catches for
Yeah.
a $122 and a touchdown, but that's not going to. Dookie Jones can't have three receivers for Pete's sake. No way. Two quarterbacks quickly. We just got to shout out the quarterback won last week, available in over half of leagues on ESPN. Kirk, Captain Queef Cousins.
Yeah, big game, big game.
509 yards and 4 touchdowns on Thursday night. He's the QB 13 on the season. If you're having QB problems, if you got Patty Mahomes, you going to go look at Kirk Cousins?
As a backup, sure. Patty Mahomes is, he's doing all right. He's doing fine, but he's not putting up at some of the numbers that we're seeing. Kirk Cousins had one big game, so let's not jump out of our seats. But maybe that is the game that he needed to wake up Atlanta. So yeah.
What if I told you Patty Mahomes averaging 14.2 fantasy points per game, QB 24, QB 24, Patty Mahomes,
and they're 5-0. Can you believe that?
That's a joke.
My
That's
gosh. My gosh.
Probably not a guy you're going to go pick up unless you're in a 2-quarterback league. If you're in a 2-quarterback league, go look at this guy, the quarterback 4 last week, filling in for Anthony Richardson, Joe Flacco. He still got it, baby. 359 yards, 3 tutties. He makes Michael Pittman relevant. He makes Joshua Downs flex-worthy. Alec Pierce caught another fucking bomb. He makes guys more relevant there where Anthony Richardson is completing 8, 10, 12 passes a game. Joe Flacco's chucking it all around 50 fucking times. So Joe Flacco is definitely better for fantasy, but he's not the future for the Colts.
No.
Well, let's end on here since we know we got a lot of Colts queefs watching this. What should the boys do in Indianapolis at the quarterback position? Should they ride with Joe Flacco, try to win, or try to develop this Anthony Richardson kid with a lot of potential?
Oh my goodness, that is a good question. I mean, hey, first of all, they lost last week, right? The Colts lost with Joe Flacco.
Courtesy to the Indianapolis Colts for giving the Jacksonville Jaguars their first win, Max, their first win in 315 days. 315 days the Jaguars had not won a game. Courtesy Colts. Sam and Wilson, thank you for that.
Yes, no doubt about it. I say ride with Flacco a little bit. Why not? Why not? Okay, go for it. Okay, unless of course, I mean, if there comes that point where they're, oh man, I don't know. I'm not a Colts fan, so I really give two shits. But ride with Flacco because they actually chuck it. It's more exciting than Anthony Richardson just taking hits and hurting himself like he's already done two times already.
Yeah, fuck the Colts. It's definitely a race for the basement in that division now with the Colts and the Jags and the Titans. My goodness, we thought it could be sneaky. We thought that division could be sneaky, and nah, that division sucks. That division blows.
Really bad.
Well, Max, that's going to do us tonight for the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast on Baseball Talk. We're in October, baby. The divisional series are rolling through. Game 3 is going. Game 4 is tomorrow. We got a lot of juicy fantasy football review from Week 5, but looking forward to sitting down on Thursday with you, Max, previewing Week 6 in the NFL, maybe talking some more baseball, who knows. But anything you got for the people before we get out here, take us home, baby.
Hey, thank you everyone for coming out tonight to the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. Please like, comment, and subscribe as you always been doing. We continue to hope we are helping you with your fantasy football team as, oh man, it's getting juicy. We're starting to get into that in the middle of your season. You got to start making moves. You might need to start making some trades. You might need to drop some players you didn't think you'd be dropping. Mark Andrews. Yes. So you definitely gotta restructure your team if needed. But that's what makes it fun. That's what makes fantasy football so fun. If you're losing, figure it out. Okay. Look at your team, see who you can drop, see who you can trade to try to make it better. That is the point. You're a manager, right? You want to try to make it better. You can't tank. There's no such thing as tanking in fantasy football unless you are in a dynasty league. Yeah, okay, then okay. But we're not. So anyway, man, I can't wait for Thursday as we're going to talk about Week 6. Go Breezy, do you got anything else for the people?
Just unfortunate both of my keepers currently hurt, currently backups. taking snaps and opportunities and vulturing tutties, and we gave you 5 running backs to go look at. If you got Devin Singletary, if you got Jonathan Taylor, if you got Travis Etienne, go hit those waiver wires tonight with the Tuesday night waivers, baby. I'm gonna get in there tonight, Max. I'm getting in there.
I'll be definitely looking. Cobrese, I listened to you twice last week. Kraft, and also I picked up Justin Fields, and I'm happy with Justin Fields as my backup, a running quarterback.
Nice.
I'm happy.
Nice.
I'm happy.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Very
go-
fantasy relevant.
Yeah, go jump on the waiver wire, everybody, especially if you are the queef in your league.